to say. Well, produce them. Time for supper, dear. Your other mother, silly. Now go tell. So, where are they? The Ghost Isle.
Coraline is a dark fantasy animated movie about a young girl who discovers a mysterious world that looks perfect at first but hides in dangerous secrets. The story follows Coraline Jones, an advertiser, and the curious 11-year-old girl who wants to attention, excitement, and a better life than what she currently has. A story begins when Coraline and her parents move to a new place called the Pick Place apartment. This building is actually a very old Victorian house that has been divided into different apartments. It is located in a quiet town in the Oregon. The house also be much different and dangerous, looks like a horror movie. The house looks strange and a little creepy from the outside, with old walls, large garden, and many hidden corners. Coraline does not like the move at all. She misses her old home and her friends. Her parents, also be Charles and Mill Jones, are both writers who work from home. They are always busy with their computer and deadlines become of their work. They did not spend much time with Coraline. They often tell her to go outside and entertain herself. Coraline feels lonely and ignored. She wants attention from her parents, but they already listen to her. Her mother, his mother is strict and serious, while her father is kind but always distracted with work. This makes Coraline feel that her life has been become boring and dull. One day Coraline decides to explore the area around the pink place. She walks through the garden and notices that the place is full of strange things. There are tall trees, unusual plants, and an old wall hidden in the grass. The wall is covered so that nobody accidentally fall inside it. While exploring, Coraline meets a mysterious black cat The cat seemed to appear and disappear whenever it wants. It starts at Coraline in a strange way, almost like it understands everything about it. However, the cat does not speak in the real world, so Coraline simply thinks it is a strange animal. Some Coraline meets a Soon after Coraline meets a boy named Warborn Lord. Everyone calls him Wybite. He is the grandson of the owner of the Pink Place apartment. Weby is talk, talk active and curious, and they quickly start asking Coraline many questions. At first time, Coraline found him enjoying because she perfect exploring alone. Wybye tells Coraline that is the grandmother is the landlady of the building. He always said that his grandmother does not allow children to live in the place anymore. Coraline finds the strange, but Webby does not explain the reason. Before leaving, Webby gives Coraline a small rag doll. The doll looks very unusual. When Coraline examines it carefully, she realizes something shocking. The doll looks exactly like her. It has the it has the same blue hair and even similar cloth. Coraline feels a little uncomfortable holding the doll. She wonders why someone could make a doll that looks exactly like her. Wybye explains what he found in his grandmother's old belonging and thought Coraline might like it. Coraline takes the doll home and keeps it in her home. Later, while exploring the inside of Pink Park, Coraline discovers a small door in the living room wall. The door is thick and looks very old. Curious, Coraline asks her mother about it. Her mother unlocks the small door with the key and opens it. However, behind the door there is nothing but a brick wall. It looked like the doorway was closed many years ago. Coraline's mother laughed and said the door probably lead to be another part of the house before it was divided into apartment. After that, Coraline's mother locks the door and again to give Coraline the key to keep it. That night, Coraline goes to sleep still thinking about the strange little door. In the middle of the night, Coraline wakes up because she hears strange sound, thinky noise enough. They thought the house almost likely something small in the moving thought the wall. She follows sound quiet and discovered that a group of Mikos and running through the hallway. The Miko stopped near the small door. Suddenly something very strange happened. The door slowly opens. When Coraline looks inside, she is shocked to see what the brick wall is going. Instead, there is a long dark tunnel behind the door. The tunnel looks after soft and alive, almost like it the breathing. Coraline feels nervous, but the curiosity is strange than her fear. Slowly, she arrived inside the tunnel. The tunnel seemed endless. It researched far into the darkness. Coraline keeps crawling until she finally see a light at the end. When the when she come out of the tunnel, she realizes she is inside a house that looks exactly like her home. However, something is different. Everything looks bright, warm, and more colorful. Because she can understand what is happening, a woman enters the room. At first, Coraline thinks it is her mother, but when she looks closer, she notices something troubling. Instead of normal eyes, the woman has black button swan into her face. The woman smiles and the warmly welcome Coraline. She says, "Hello, Coraline, I have been right for you." This strange woman introduces herself as Coraline, other mother. Soon Coraline also meets the other father who always has buttons instead of eyes. Unlike her real parents, these other parents give Coraline a lot of attention. They look, decide food, play games with her, and treat her like the most important person in the world. At first, Coraline feels happy and excited. This new world seems perfect, but she does not realize there's something very dangerous in the hiding behind the perfect reason. As soon Coraline will disappear, the terrifying true about the world. Also, the story much interesting on the every part. In the mysterious new world, Coraline feels surprised and excited. Everything around her looks similar to her real home, but it feels much better. The house is bright, warm, and full of life. The room looks colorful and beautiful, unlike the quiet and dull apartment in the real world. The woman with button eyes, who calls herself Coraline other mother, tried her very kindly. She smiled warmly and tells Coraline that she has been waiting for her. Coraline feels confused about always happy because his woman seem much nice than her real mother. Some soon Coraline meet the other father. He always has button instead of eyes, but he behaves in a funny and cheerful way. He talks jokes and even sings song from Coraline. In the real world, her father is unusual, busy and tired, but this other father seemed full of energy and excitement. The other mother prepared a wonderful dinner for Coraline. The food smelled delicious and tasted amazing. Coraline enjoyed the meal very much. She realized that everything in the world feels perfect. After dinner, the other father plays music on the piano and sing a strange but entertaining song. The song is all about the Coraline and how wonderful she is. Coraline laughs and feels special because someone is finally giving her so much attention. The other mother tells Coraline that this world is made just for you. She said that everything are excited as so Coraline can be happy. Coraline feel amazed by this idea. She visited the apartment of the real time and also be later that evening the other mother guested that Coraline should explore the neighborhood. Coraline goes outside and discovered that the interior place looks like a magic version of the real world. She visited the apartment of Mr. Boninsky. In real world, she is a strange and electric man who talks about the training Miko from a circuit. But in the other world, his dream has become real. Coraline seems an incredible mouse circuit. Hundreds of tiny mice perform amazing tricks, dancing and moving together like professional performers. Bright lights and music fall in the room, making the show feel magical. Much interaction of the movie on the every scene part. Coraline seemed an incredible mouse circuit and also be the making the show feel magical. Coraline watched the show with eyes. She cannot believe something is so wonderful excited. After that, Coraline visit her other neighbors, Miss Sprick and Miss Frickable. In the real world, they are the interred actress who live with many old dogs. They often talk about their past performance, but in the other world, they look young, glorious, and full of life. They perform a beautiful stage show for Coraline. The performers including music, dance, and the colorful customs. These entries scene feels like a grand theater performance. Everything in the strange world seemed designed to entertain and impress Coraline. At the end of night, the other mother tucks Coraline into the bed. She gently tells Coraline that she can visit any time she wants. When Coraline wakes up the next morning, she finds herself back in the real world. At first, she thinks it might have been a dream, but the experience left so real that Coraline cannot stop thinking about it. She runs to tell her parents about the strange world she discovered. However, her parents are busy working and do not take it seriously. They thinking Coraline is a simple imagine things. This makes Coraline feel frustrated and lonely again. Later that day Coraline meets Vibe outside. She talks about the great aunt who disappeared many years ago when she was a child. According to the story, the girl vanished without any explanation. Coraline find this story strange but she does not think much about it. Meanwhile, she also meet her other neighbor again, Miss Spinks, and Miss Freakable gives Coraline a strange stone with a hole in the middle. They call it an adder stone and say it can help people see hidden things. Coraline does not understand what they mean, but she keeps the stone with her. That night, Coraline became curious again. She decided to check the small door once more. Just like before, the door opened and the mysterious tunnel appeared again. Coraline Cruel thought the tunnel and returned to the other world. This time, she meets other strange characters, the other version of the YB. However, this other YB is very different from the real ones. He cannot speak at all. Instead, he communicates only with gestures and expression. Coraline finds him friendly but a little strange. While exploring the other world again, Coraline suddenly sees the black cat she met early. But this time something shocking happened. The cat start talking. The cat explained what the other world is not what is seem. It warns Coraline that she should be careful and not trust anyone her. Coraline feel confused by the warning but she still believes this world is wonderful. Later the other mother show Coraline something very strange. She tells Coraline what she can stay in the other world forever. Coraline feels excited at the first. Living in the magical place sound amazing, but when the other mother reveals one condition, if Coraline want to say, she must allow the other mother to see black button onto her eyes, just like the other mother and other father. When Coraline hears this, she feels terrified. The idea of someone swinging button into eyes is horrifying. Suddenly, Coraline began to realize that his perfect world may not be as safe as it seemed. She quickly refused to her offer. The other mother smile slowly disappear. The warm and the fun atmosphere of the other world began to change, and Coraline is about to discover that the living another mother may actually be something far more dangerous than she ever imagined. After the other mother asked Coraline to stay forever, she saw a button on her eyes. Coraline became very scared. She finally realized that his perfect world is not safe. Coraline quickly refused his offer. She tells the other mother that she wants to go back to her real parents and her real home. At first, the other mother tried to stay calm and friendly, but her smile slowly changed. Her voice became louder and more serious. She does not like the Coraline answer. Coraline runs toward the small door that lead back to the tunnel. She tries to escape and return to the real world. Also, Coraline is in the dangerous position at this time, but when she opens the door, she sees something terrifying. The tunnel is gone. There is no way out. The other mother suddenly becomes angry. Her face looks darker, and the more fighting, she grabs Coraline and locks her inside a small dark room. This room is hidden behind a mirror. Inside the room, Coraline feels completely alone and afraid. The darkness makes everything feel cold and silence. Suddenly, strength, glowing shape began to be appear in the darkness. They slowly from into the spread script of their ghost children. The ghost children looks plain and said they explained to Coraline what they were once real children just like her. Many years ago, the other mother tracked them and brought them into the other world. At first, she was kind to him and gave him everything he wanted. But later, she asked them to see button into their eyes so they can could stay in the other world forever. Children trusted her and agreed. But after that, something terrible happened. The other mother stolen their souls. Their bodies disappear now, and now they are trapped a ghost. One of the ghost children revealed something important. She was by great aunt. The girl was disappeared long ago. New Coraline understands Now Coraline understands that true. The other mother is not a living parent. She is actually an evil creator and called, blamed, and monster that trip children and steal their souls. The Beldam watch children in the real world using special dolls like looks like them. When she finds lonely or unhappy children, she tricks them into coming to the other world. Then she tripped them forever. A ghost children began Coraline for help. They tell her that their soul can only be free in Coraline finds their lost eyes. Coraline feels sad for them. She promise that she will help them. Just then, the other version of YB secretly opened the door and helped Coraline escape from the dark room. He leads her back toward the tunnel. Coraline quickly clambered through the tunnel and finally returned to the real world. She feels revealed to the back home, but the danger is not ever yet. Back in the real world, Coraline tries to explain everything to YB. She tells him about the other world, the Baladam, and the ghost children. But YB does not believe her story. He thinks Coraline is imagine, imagining things. When Coraline show him the strange doll, YB become feared and takes it away. She says the dolls once belonged to his missing great aunt. YB runs away, leaving Coraline alone. Later, Coraline returned home and began to notice something strange. Her parents are missing. They are nowhere in the home. At first, she thinks they went outside or to the story, but something feels wrong. They talks blacks and cat suddenly appear again. This time the cat explains something trouble. The Baladam has kidnapped Coraline parents and taken them into the other world. Now Coraline understands that the monster is trying to trip her again. Even though she is curved, Coraline decides to be brave. She will go back to the other world and refuse her parents. Before leaving, Coraline visits Miss Spin and Miss Forrible again. They give her to the Adder Stone and tell her it will help her see things and tell her it will help her and see things that are normally hidden. Coraline keeps the stone with her. Then she opens the small door and enters the tunnel once more. When she arrives in the other world again, everything looks dark and more broken than before. The magical beauty is finding a way. The battles appear and parent parented the battle appeared printed to be the finally again. Coraline knows she cannot trust her, so she comes a clever plan. Challenge to Coraline challenged the Bladem to a game. She said that if she can find her parents and the lost eyes of the ghost children, the Bladem must let everyone go free. But if Coraline falls, she will stay in the other world forever and allow the Bladem to say butter into her eyes. The Bladem loves game and believes Coraline cannot win. So she accepts the challenge. Now Coraline must research the interior other world to be find their three lost eyes and refuse her parents. Coraline is the most trusted game to win his father and mother back to the new world. Now Coraline must also be, but the Bladem is watching her closely and trying to stop her. The dangerous game has begun. After Coraline challenged the Bladem to be a game, the dangerous research beginnings. Coraline must find three lost eyes of the ghost children and also refuse her parents. The Palladium agrees to the game, but she secretly plans to make it possible for Coraline to win. Coraline used the Adder Stone that Miss Spink and Miss Faribels gave her when she looks thought the hole is in the same stone. She can see things that are children's. This helps her start to research. First, Coraline goes to visit the other version of Miss Pink and Miss Variable. Their apartment is now dark and strange. The beautiful theater performance from before has disappeared. Coraline carefully looks thought the adder stone. Suddenly, she noticed something glowing. One of the ghost children's eye is hidden inside the room. She quickly grabs it. As soon as she takes the eye, the place begins to fall apart. The magical starts breaking. Coraline realizes that the other world is slowly closing. Next, she goes to Mr. Sky apartment. Before, the room was full of magic and wonderful mouse circuit. But now the place looks damaged and crappy. The Maiko behaves strange and the room feels dangerous. Coraline again looks toward the address stone and finds another glowing object. The second ghost eye is hidden there. She carefully take it again the environment around the began to be break and disappear. The bright color fade and everything become dark. Now Coraline only need to be find the last eye. She returned to the house where the Baladam is waiting. The Baladam is now more angry and less friendly. Her true from beginning begins to appear. She no longer looks like a normal mother. Her body become tall, thick and spider like. Her legs, arms stretched like the legs of the spider. The house also started turning into again spider web trip. Coraline now she must to be very careful. She looks toward the adder stone one more time. This time she discovers something surprising. The last ghost eyes is hidden inside the snow global that contain her parents. Coraline understands that the Bladem tripped her there. Now she must find a way to grab the snow globe and escape. The final and most dangerous moment is coming. Coraline now faces the Bladem in her true traffic form. The Bladem become again spider-like creature with long arms and sharp fingers. Her button eyes looks cold and wild. She blocks Coraline escape and challenges her to finish the game. Coraline say Clayman pretends to keep researching. Then she make a clever move. She throw the talking back at the talking black cat toward the Bladem to distract her. The cat attacked the Bladem face and struck her button eyes. For a moment, the monster lost control. Coraline quickly gripped the snow globe that contained her parents. Then she runs toward the small door that led to be the tunnel. The ghost children spirits appear and help and guide her to the exit. The Bladem try to stop her streak and the long spider arms thought the house. Just before Coraline escaped, the Bladem grabbed the door. Coraline claims the door shut. In the process, the Bladem long hand gets trip on the other side of door. Her hand is cut off and left in the real world. Coraline finally returned home with the snow global. Soon after, her parents returned to the normal size and woke up. They did not remember anything about being kidnapped. They believe nothing strange happened. Coraline feel realized and happy to have them back. But the story is not completely finished yet. That night, the spirits of the ghost children appear in Coraline dream. They thank for they thank her for freeing their souls, but they warn her about something important. The Bladem's severed hand is still alive. It will try to find the key to small door so it can open the portal again. Coraline realized that danger is not ever the final problem, still need to be the solved. After Coraline returned to the real world and save her parents, everything looks normal again. Her parents are safe and back to their usual life. They did not remember anything about being trapped into the other world. Coraline feels happy and reveals she believes the danger is finally over. But that night something strange happened. Coraline has a dream where the ghost children appear again. These are the same children whose souls are helped free from the Bladem. The ghost children thanks Coraline for saving them. They say that because she found their lost eyes, their souls are finally free. However, they always they also give her an important warning. They tell Coraline that the Bladem is not completely defended yet. Even though the door to the other world is closed, the Bladem survived hand is still alive. The hand want to find the key to the small door. If the hand finds the key, it would open the door again and brings the bladder back. Coraline wakes up and realizes she must get rid of the key forever. The next day, Coraline decides to throw the key into the old wall near the Pink Place garden. If the key falls into the deep wall, nobody will ever be able to open the door again. She secretly takes the key and goes outside while walking through toward the wall. Coraline suddenly notices something moving. The Bladem served hand is has come to life. The creepy hand crawled across the ground like a spider. It tried to grip the key from Coraline. Coraline runs, but the hand moves quickly and catch her. Just when Coraline is about to close the key, YB suddenly appear. Early YB has had started believing Coraline's story after seeing strange clues. Now he comes to her help. Together, Coraline and the YB fight against the creepy hand. The hand jumps and tries to grip the key again, but YB managed to trip it. Coraline quickly opened the wooden cover of the wall. Then both of them throw the bladem hand and the key deep into the wall. The wall is extremely deep, so that hand and the key disappear into the darkness forever. Now the door is the other world can never be opened again. The bladem is finally defended that die. After this, life at the pink place become peaceful. The next day, Coraline parents organize a small garden party for the neighbors. The garden is decorated with the flowers and everyone is enjoying the sunny day. Coraline feels different now. She understands that even their thought her real life is not perfect. Her real parents still love her. She always feels proud for herself because she was brave enough to defend the bladder. Wabi also attends the party and brings her grandmother. Coraline begins to tell Wabi grandmother about the truth behind the missing sister. For the first time, Coraline feels confident and happy in the real world. The adventure is finally over, and Coraline has learned an important lesson about courage, family, and appearance to the real life has been started. The story of Coraline Tuckney's survival important life lesson. At first, Coraline is a young girl who feels unhappy with their life. Her parents are always busy with work and she feels lonely and ignored. Because of this, she wishes from something better. She wants a life where everything is exciting and where people give her attention all the time. When Coraline finds the small door and enters to the other world, it looks like her wish has come true. Her wish come true. The other world cooks declares food, delicious food. The other father sings song, and every seem to be care about them. Everything looks perfect, but slowly Coraline learns that the perfect world is actually a dangerous world. One of the biggest moral of the story that is things that look perfect are not always good or safe. Sometimes people or situations may appear wonderful at first, but they may hide something harmful. The other mother pretended to be the loving and kind so that Coraline will trust her. But in reality, she is a cruel creature who trap children and steal their souls. This teaches us that we would not trust something only because it looks exciting or better than our real life. It is important to thinking carefully and understand the truth before trusting someone or something. Another important lesson from the story is learning to what we are already have. At the beginning of the story, Coraline complained about her parents and her home. She thinks her life is boring and wishes from something more exciting. However, after facing the dangers of the other world, Coraline realized that her real parents truly love her, even if they are busy sometimes. Also, the real story of the movie is outstanding. Her real home may not be perfect, but it is safe and real. By the end of the story, Coraline understands that the love of her real family is more valuable than the fake happiness offered by the other mother. The story also teaches the visual of the courage and the bravery. Coraline is only a young girl, but she faces a very powerful and scary enemy. Even when she feels afraid, she does not give up. She decides to save her parents and help the ghost children where we trapped by the Bladum. Instead of running away forever, Coraline runs to the other world and challenges the Bladum to the game. This shows that brave does not mean a person is not scary. It means a person chooses to be the right thing even when they are afraid. Another moral is the story is the importance of helping other. Coraline could have escaped and forgotten about the ghost children, but she chose to help them find their lost eyes and free their souls. Her kindness allowed the trapped script to finally find space. This teaches us that helping others is important even when it is difficult or dangerous. When she was help people who are in trouble, we make the world a better place. The story also reminds us about being careful with temptation. The other world is designed to tempt Coraline with everything she wants. Also, be good performance of every star cast in other Coraline. The other world is designed to tempt Coraline with everything she wants: attention, fun, and delicious food. The Bladem use these things to trap children. In real life, people may also face temptation that look activate but can lead to be trouble. The story show that it is important to think visually and not left temptation control our decision. Another lesson is about growing up and become responsible. At the beginning of the movie, Coraline behave like a children who complains about everything, but during the adventure she learned to make difficult choice and take responsibility. By the end of story, Coraline becomes stronger, wiser, and more mature. She learned the value her family, her friends, and real life. The story always show the importance of the friendship and trust. At first, Coraline finds Wybie annoying and does not want to spend time with him. But later, Wybie helps her defend to Baladam's hand and save the key. This shows that friends can help us during difficult moments, even if we do not always realize their importance at the beginning. Finally, the biggest moral of the story is about the difference between dangerous and the reality. The other world looks beautiful and excited, but it is a fake and dangerous. Coraline real world may not be perfect, but is the honest and the safe. The story teaches us that real love, real family, and real life are more valuable than fake protection. Fake protection. In the end, Coraline becomes a stronger and wiser person because of their adventure. She learned to approach her parents. She learned to how help her parents, help other and face problem with courage. Because of these lessons, the story of Coraline is not just a fantastic adventure, it is also a meaningful story about bravery, honesty, family, and understanding the true value of the real world. Movie get a outstanding visuals VFX. This is a much outstanding performance of the every person, every star cast on the get a remarkable positive response. And also be the next stage of the movie is in this video. Still I am explaining the Coraline movie storyline, then I explaining the movie acceptation before release. The when the animated and fantastic movie Coraline began was prepared for release, many people in the film industry were watched closely. The movie was not a normal animated film. It used a very special techniques called stop motion animation, which take a long time to create and require a lot of careful work. Because of this, the movie was expensive and risky. The studio behind the film, Leica Studio, was still become known in the Hollywood. Many people wondered if the movie would score or not because before the movie was released, analytics started discussing its possible performance at the box office. One well-known film industry analytics and also the studio the situation carefully. He compared the film with another stop motion movies. Violence Gromit, the Were Rabbit. The movie had opened with around $60 million in its first weekend and later earned about $125 million worldwide. Because both films use stop motion animation and had a similar audience, analytics believe Coraline might follow a similar path. However, there was still uncertainty. Stop motion movies are not always hug comical success because they appeal to a slightly different audience compared to big computer animated film from a studio like Parax and DreamWorks combination. Because of this, Pulu made a curious production. He said that if Coraline earned around $10 million in its opening weekend, the studio should already consider it a good result. For a unique and artistic film like Coraline, even a moderator's opening world proved that audience were interested. At the time, many people were unsure how families and younger audience would react to the movie. Coraline had a dark and slightly creepy tone compared to the most animated films. The story, including mysterious worlds, button-eyed ghost children, and a frightening villain called the Bladam, these elements made the movie very quiet but also risky. Some people wondered if parents might think the movie was too scary for young children, but others believe that this unusual style could actually thread audiences who are tried for of normal animated stories. When the film was released, finally arrived the moment of true come. When Coraline finally premiered in theater, the result surprised many people in the film industry. During the opening weekend in the United States, the movie earned about $16.85 million. This was much higher than Quotation's production of $10 million. Not only that, the movie also managed to be reach third place at the weekend box office, which means many people were choosing the watch Coraline instead of other films that were released at the same time. This strong opening showed that audiences were curious about the movie's unique story and visual style. One important reason for the success was the 3D presentation. At the 3D movie were becoming very popular in theaters. Coraline used 3D technology in a creative way to make the magical world look even more impressive. Many viewers want to experience the movie in 3D because it made the strong and the colorful other world look every more fantastic. Because of this, a large part of the movie earned come from 3D screening. During the second weekend, Coraline continued performing well. The movie earned other $50 million, bringing the total US box office about $35 million. Out of this total, about $25 million come from 3D screen alone, which show how much audience enjoyed watching the movie in that format. The steady performance proves something very important. Even thought Coraline was not a typically animated movie, audience appreciated its creativity, storytelling, and visual beauty. The movie slowly continued earning money and more people discovered in its theaters. Over time, Coraline built a strong reputation and a unique and memorable animated film. And also, the movie got a remarkable positive response after the strong opening in the United States. Coraline started earning money from theaters all around the world. The movie quietly attracted attention in countries like Canada, United Kingdom, Mexico, Australia. People were fascinated by unique stop motion animation, the imaginative world and the slightly spoke about magical story. Families, teenagers, and animation lovers all want to see in theaters. By the end of original theatrical run, Coraline had earned over 120 million worldwide, combining the USA and the international box office earning. This made it one of the most successful stop-motion animated film of the year. What made the success even more impressive that was Coraline was not a typical children cartoon. children cartoon. The story had dark element, ghost children, and frightening villain called the Bladum, and a mysterious otherworld deposited this audience approach to be depth and the creativity of the story. The movie's success proved that audiences are ready for unique and imaginative animation even if it is dark or different from standard animated films. Many critics and fans later said that the film visual beauty and the story were unmatched. The magical details in the other world, the teeny movement of the stop motion character, and the clever design of Coraline world kept audience amazing. By the end of original release, Coraline had earned enough money to take the studio proud, and it had established Leica Studio as a leading stop motion animation company. Years after the original release, the movie returned to theater in 2023. The studio decided to re-release Coraline for fans to enjoy it again. This time it is a special presentation. The re-release began on August 14, 2023, and audience can back to see Coraline in 3D. Over 4 days, the movie earned over 7 million, proving that even many years later, people still loved the film. The re-release show something important. Coraline had been a classic animated film. Many families who had seen it when it came out in 2009 returned to share it with their children. Animation lovers also want to experience the film again on a big screen. 2023 re-release earned attention from the criticism and fans alike. So social media posts, reviews, and word of mouth helped the movie attract more audience. Fans happy to timeless story, emotional depth, and beautiful stop motion visuals. The success of 2023 release prepared the way of the 15th anniversary edition in 2024, which would become even bigger. And also be the after 2023 re-release of Coraline, the studio decided to celebrate the movie 15th anniversary in 2024. This was a special event because Coraline had become a beloved classic. Fans of all age want to see the magical story on big screen again, and new audience were also excited to experience in its theaters for the first time. The anniversary re-release began August 16, 2024 in 3D. This made the magical world of Coraline looks even more stunning. The bright, colorful detail of the other world, the tiny movement of the stop motion character, and the intricate design of the pink place apartment amazing audience once again. In the first 4 days, the movie earned around 12.5 million worldwide, reached fifth place at the global box office, competing with brand new release. For a re-release of one older movie, this was an impressive achievement. By August 13, 2024, the total earning of the 15th anniversary release had reached 29 million worldwide. About this made it the highest grossing re-release in the industry of Phaeton Events, a company that specializes in showing special movie in theaters. The success was emotional for many fans. People share stories about watching Coraline as a child and now returning to theater with their own children. Others were discovering the movie for the first time, drawn in by its unique animation, creepy yet magical story, and imaginative character. By step 2024-22 September, September 24, 2024, the anniversary release had earned 52 million worldwide, adding this the total box office earning from 2009. The movie lifetime total reached exportly totally 185 million worldwide. This made the 15th anniversary re-release a historical achievement of animated films. In the United Kingdom, it became the second highest grossing re-release of all time, showing how much the movie charm had grown over the years. In Mexico, the anniversary screening even earned more than original 2009 re-release, proving that Coraline magic and timeless. The 2024 re-release also helped introduce the movie to new generation of viewers, many young children and teenagers who were not born when the film was first come out come first come out got a chance to experience the story in theaters. Parents who had grown up watching Coraline brought their kids share the adventure, suspense, and the lesson about bravery and the family. Critics and fans praised the anniversary edition for staying true to the original story, while the 3D enhanced achievement made the animation feel even more alive. The widening colors, detail set, and clever camera angles in 3D give the audience the feeling that we were instead Coraline world, walking through the pink place and exploring the creepy yet fantastic other world. The success of 15th anniversary re-release was also emotionally for the creators and the Leica studio. Years of dedication, the stop motion animation had paid off. The movie listing popularity showed that even a non-traditional, slightly dark animated story could stand the set of the time and continue to be delighting audience worldwide. The re-release proved that Coraline was more than just a movie; it had become a cultural phenomenon, a story that connects with people of all ages, belong, imagination, adventure, and emotions in way that few animated films do. By the end of the 15th anniversary run, Coraline had communicated its place as a classic animated film, loved for its visual beauty, suspension film storytelling, and timeless moral lesson. Even 15 years of rise, the first time re-release audience were still captivated by the brave little girl who forced her face, saved her parents, and discovered the power of courage, and love and wisdom. The movie get a remarkable positive response, get a huge success. This is historical, outstanding performance of every part. Also, be the previewing or the critical response of the movie. This is important part of the movie to communicate with audience. Coraline get a remarkable positive response on the every part, every story. When Coraline was re-released in theaters, it did not only earn money at the box office. A movie also received very strong and positive reaction from film critics and around the world. Many critics believed that Coraline was one of the most creative animated movie of its time. The film was praised its beautiful stop motion animation, its amazing story, and the emotional journey of the main character. One of the most popular movie review website, Rotten Tomatoes, collect reviews from hundreds of critics. On this website, the movie received an approval rating about 91% based on the 279 reviews. This means that most critics give the film positive feedback. The average rating on the website was 7.8 out of 10, which is considered very strong for an animated fantastic movie. The criticized summary on the website explained why the film was so successful. According to the many reviewers, the movie combined stunning stop motion animation with the imaginative storytelling created by the famous famous writer Neil. The original story, written by Neil, was already famous for its mysterious and magical tone. The film adaptation managed to keep that some feeling while also adding visual beauty and the emotional depth. Another well-known review website, Metacritic, also give the movie strong rating. On this platform, the film received a score of 80 out of 100 based on reviews from 40 professional critics. A score of 80 means that movie received generally favorable reviews, showing that most critics had a very positive opinion about it. Many reviewers praised the movie of its unique style. At that time, most animated movies were made its computer animation, but Coraline used stop motion animation, where each small movement of the character is created by hand, photographed on photograph one frame at the time. Because of these techniques, the movie had a very special look. The character, the house, even even the tiny object in the background were all carefully built by artists. This gave the movie a magical and realistic feel at the same time. Critics also admired the visual creativity of the other world, the colorful gardens, the strange but beautiful rooms, and the imaginative design made the audience feel like they were exploring a completely different universe. Another reason critics loved the film was its emotional message. The story was not just about adventure and fantasy, it also showed important theme and the such a bravery, appreciation, family, understanding the difference between reality and reality and the fake reality. Coraline begins the story as a girl who feels unhappy with her life. She believes that everything would be better somewhere else, but after facing danger and discovering the truth about the other world, she learned that her real life or real family are more valuable than fake production. Criticize approach the meaningful lesson because it made the story deeper than a typical children movie. Some reviewers also maintained that the movie was slightly dark and the scary than many other animated films. The villain now as the Bladam or the other mother was specially fighting and the dangerous. However, many critics believe that the dark tone actually made the movie more interesting and memorable. Instead of being a simple children cartoon, Coraline felt like a fantastic story that both children and adults could enjoy at every time. The voice acting in the movie also received positive reviews. The actors brought strong emotions and personality to the character, helping the audience connect with Coraline's journey. Over the time, the positive reviews helped Coraline built a strong reputation. Many people began to see it as one of the most stop-motion animated films ever made. Years later, when the movie was re-released in theaters for its anniversary, critics and the audience once again respect its creativity and storytelling. Even after many years, the movie still felt fresh and imaginative and emotionally powerful story and characters placement. Because of this artist animation, meaningful story, and unforgettable characters, Coraline become more than just a successful movie. It became a modern animated classic loved by audience and respected by critics around the world. The huge response every year's movie get a remarkable understanding for everyone. The Coraline finished its successful run in the movie theaters. The journey of the film did not ended. In fact, for many fans, the real experience of the movie began after it was re-released. After it was released from home viewing. Watching movies at home has always been an important part of the film industry. It allows people who missed the movie in cinema to finally see it, and it also left fans watch their favorite movies again and again. Also, because of Coraline had already gained a strong fan base and theaters, many people were excited to win the movie and watch it at home. The DVD and Blu-ray release. The film was officially released on DVD and Blu-ray in the United States on July 21, 2009. The release was handled by Universal Studio Home Entertainment, which is responsible for attributions movies for home entertainments. After that time, DVD and Blu-ray were the most popular say to the watch movies outside the theaters. DVD were already common in the many thousands holds. Blu-ray offered higher picture quality and better sound. The release of Coraline on this format was very special because the filmmaker wanted to give viewers something unique. Since the movie has been created with scatocopy 3D technology stroboscope, they decided to include an version of the film that viewers could watch in 3D at home. The special 3D version. One of the most exciting part of the home media re-release in 3D version of the film. The DVD package including four pairs of 3D glass so that several people could watch the movie together. These glass use the technology called green and magnetic analytic 3D. When viewers wore the glass while watching the movie, the image on the screen appear to have deep, making objects seem like they are coming out of the screen. Although this type of 3D was similar than the advanced 3D used in theaters, it still allowed audience to experience the magical world of the Coraline in more impressive way. Fans especially enjoyed seeing scenes from the other world in 3D. The colorful gardens, strange rooms, and unusual characters looks even more attractive when they appear to have depth. Released in the United Kingdom a few months after the American release, the movie was also released on DVD Blu-ray in the United Kingdom on October 12, 2009. The British release included similar features but also offered a special two-disc collector's edition. This edition was designed for fans who want to keep a deeper look into the creation of the film. Collector's editions usually includes extra material such as behind-the-scene documentaries, interview with the filmmaker, and special features that explain how the movie was made. For a film like Coraline, we used complicated stop-motion animation. These behind-the-scene feature was especially interesting. Early DVD sales success. The DVD release of Coraline was the successful. During the first week after it became available, more than 1 million copies were sold. In total, the first week sale reached around 1,033,845 units, generated more than $19 million in revenue. This was an important result because it showed that the film's popularity was continuing even after it left theaters. Over the time, the total sale of DVD increased even more. Actually, the movie sold more than 2.6 million copies, earned over $45 million in revenue from home media alone. These numbers prove that audience still loved the story from Coraline and want to be experience it again in their home own homes. The Blu-ray and 3D set 2011, another special version of the movie was released, a two-disc Blu-ray 3D set. This set including two different type of 3D viewing. One disc contained a 3D version designed for the modern 3D television, while the other including the enhanced graphic 3D version that could be watched using special glass. This release allowed fans with newer technology to experience the movie in a more advanced and realistic 3D format. For many viewers, this version made the film feel colorful, closer to the high original theatrical 3D experience. Later special edition years later the original release, the popularity of Coraline continued to grow. The movie slowly became a cult classic and attractive new audience. Because of this lasting popularity, new edition of the film were released for collectors. In August 2021, a new edition was released by Shout's Factory under a license from Universal. The edition was designed to celebrate the film legacy and the introduce it to a new generation of viewers. Then in December 2022, the movie was released on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray format. These offer extremely high picture quality. With the release, fans could see the film with sharp details, rich colors, and approved sounds. For a visual creative movie like Coraline, the 4K format allowed viewers to appreciate the tiny details in the stop motion animation. Even small subject, object, and background design become clearer than ever before. Why home media was important for Coraline? The home media release played a hug role to keeping the film alive in popular cultures. Many animated movies are remembered only for a short time after the theatrical release, but when a film is widely available on DVD, Blu-ray, and later digital formats, it can continue to reach new audience for many years. This is extremely what happened with Caroline. Children who were too young to watch the movie in theater later discovered it at home. Teenagers and adults who loved dark fantasy stories also found the film through DVD or Blu-ray. Because of this, the movie slowly developed a passionate fan community. From many people watching Coraline at home because a early tradition, especially around Halloween, when audience enjoy mysterious and slightly scary stories. After the movie became popular in theaters and later on DVD and Blu-ray, the creators of Coraline want to fans to experience the story in more way than just watching the film. The mysterious world of Coraline was full of strange places, hidden secret and magical moments. Because of this, the creator believed that it would be perfect for intricate experience like game and online exploration. To make this possible, a special website was created where fans could explore Coraline world thought and intricate games. Instead of simple reading information about the film, visitor would move through different parts of the world shown in the movie. Players could score thought different locations and discover hidden object, environments and characters relative to the story. This made fans feel as if they were walking through Coraline strange and magical universe themselves. The interview website became more popular because it allowed people to experience the film's atmosphere in a new way. Instead of only watching Coraline Adventure, fans could explore the world just like she did. Because of its creativity and animation design, the website even received an award from Web Award in 2009. It won the award of Best Use of Animation or Motion Graphics. What made what made the award special was that website was chosen both by the public audience and by the wedding organizations itself. This means that both regular users from the professional judges believe their project was creative and impressive. The website was also nominated in the movie and film category, showing that it was recognized as one of the biggest movie-related online experiences of that years. The Coraline video game around the same time, a video game based on the movie was also announced. On June 16, 2008, the company 3D publisher revealed that a Coraline video game was being developed. The game was created so that fans could continue the adventure of Coraline in an interrogative format instead of only watching her explore mysterious world. Players could control character and move through the environments themselves. Different game studio work on the object project depends on the platform. One studio, Pay Studio, develops version of the game for the Nintendo's PlayStation 2 system. Other studio Artco created the version from the DS handheld console. The game was officially released on 27 January 2009, which was very close to movie's theatrical release. This time was international because the creators want to game and the movie to support each other. Fans who watch the movie could continue the adventure through the game, and players who discovered the game might become interested in watching the film. The game allowed players to explore the mysterious environment, see in the story. Players could move through the pink place, interact with objects, and solve small puzzle. The game was designed manually for younger audience and fans of the movies, so it focused more on exploration and discovery rather than difficult combat. Although the game did not become as famous as the movie itself, it still played an important role in the expanding the world of Coraline behind the film. The Coraline soundtrack. Music can also be important for the part of the movie atmosphere. The strange and the magical feeling of the story was supported by the unique soundtrack. Because fans enjoy the music and the soundtrack was released digital on February 3, 2009. Later it was released physical stores on February stores on February 24, 2009. This allowed listeners to enjoy the movie mystery and the emotional music of Coraline with every watch the movie. The soundtrack help brings back memories of the film, magical scenes and emotional moments. The story of Coraline did not begin as a movie. It first started as a novel written by the famous fantasy author Neil Gaiman. The novel was published in 2002 and quickly became popular because of its unique mixture of fantasy, mystery, and slightly dark storytelling. Readers loved the imaginative world, but the brave character of Coraline. Around the same time, film director Henry became interested in the story. Henry was already well known for directing the animated film The Nightmare Before Christmas because of the experience, the stop motion animation, and dark fantasy storytelling. He seemed like the project person to adapt Coraline from the screen. Interestingly, Selick and the Gill meet each other at the perfect moment. They meet just as Gina was finished the novel. Neil was already a fan of Skill previous work, especially The Nightmare Before Christmas. Because of this, he trusted Slick's creative style and believed that he could turn to the book into a successful film. So Gina invited Slick to create a movie adaptation of Coraline, expanding the story of the film. Also, be however, adaptation the book into a movie was not simple. When Selick first studied the story, he realized that a direct and a simple adaptation of the novel would be too short for a full film. In fact, he believed that if he followed the book extremely, the movie might only last about 47 minutes. The typically feature film usually runs about 90 minutes or more. Because of this, Slick's decided that the story need to be expanded. One of the biggest change was the creation of a new character named YB. In the original novel, YB is only briefly maintained as a boy who once lived in the Pink Place house before Coraline moved there. but he does not appear as the active character. Then decide to expand the character and turn into a important part of the story. There was an important story reason for adding YB. In the book, Coraline spends a lot of time about alone thinking to herself. But in a movie, if a character talks only the themselves, it can feel unnatural or boring for the audience. By adding the YB, Coraline had someone to talk to, agree with, and also be interact with. This made the story feel more natural and the entertaining for viewers. Webby also helped bring Homer and the friendship into the story, making Coraline's journey feel more emotional and realistic. Because of this change, the film adaptation became richer and more dynamic than a simple retells of the book. The decision to expand the story showed how careful the filmmaker thought about turning a right story into a cinematic experience. When the filmmakers started working on Coraline, they want to move it to look very different from the most animated films at the time. At that time, many animated movies were created with computer animation, but the creators of the Coraline want to something that felt more artist and the handmade. Director Henry believed that the visual design of the movie was extremely important. The story of Coraline takes place in two worlds, the normal real world and the strange and magical other world. Because of this, the visual style had to be carefully show the difference between relatives between these two relatives to help design the film. Hungary discovered the world of the Japanese named Yu Sing had a very unique artist style that combined simple shape with experience, color, and imaginative environment. Henry felt that the art style perfectly matched the strange and mysterious feeling of the story. Because of this, he invited Japanese to join the film as a connect artist. At first, the Japanese artist believed that the project would be small and short. He thought he would only spend a few weeks designing the character and the visual ideas. However, as the project continued to grow, he ended up working on the film for more than a year. During this time, he helped design many of the movie important visual elements, this including character building, backgrounds, and environment that would appear in the story. The color difference between two worlds. One of the most important idea in the visual design of Coraline was the difference between the real world and the other world. In the real world, the color was intentionally made more mute and dull. The sky looks gray and the buildings looks older and the environment felt slightly cold and the ordinary. This design choose helped show how Coraline felt about her real life at the beginning of the story. She believed her life was boring and dull because her parents were always busy with work. But when Coraline entered the other world, everything suddenly became bright and colorful. The gardens are full of beauty, flowers, the foods looks delicious, and the rooms are filled with glowing lights and exciting decorations. This strong contrast between two worlds made the other world feel magical and attractive. However, the bright color were also meant to be trick both Coraline and the audience. At first, the other worlds appear perfect, but later it becomes clear that the beauty hides something dark and the dangerous. The filmmakers were inspired by the older fantasy film when creating this color contrast. One important inspiration was the vision of the Oza. In that movie, the real world appears simple and dull, but the magical land of the Oz is colorful and exciting. Coraline used a similar visual idea to show a difference between reality and fantasy. Designing the environment. Japanese artists also helped design many of these environments seen in the film. This include Coraline House, the Pinky Place apartment, and the surrounding town. Even thought the town was financially it was inspired by a real place in the Oregon. The designer artist studies structure and the landscape to make the world feel believable. At the same time, they also add strange and the slightly unusual details to create a mysterious atmosphere. Every object in the environment was carefully designed before production began. The allowed to animation team to build the physical set that would later to be used for stop motion film. The producer of Coraline was an extremely large and the complicated project. The production of the Coraline was extremely large but complicated project, unlike computer animated films where characters are created digitally. This movie used stop motion animation. In the stop motion animation, physically puppets and the miniatures set are used to create each scene. The animators move the character slightly, take a photograph, and then more than again of the next frame. When these photographs are played quickly, one after another, the characters appear to move naturally. Because of these techniques, the producer require efforts and times. The large production studio. The film was produced inside a very large warehouse located in the Oregon. The building covered around 1,014,000 square feet with an extremely large space. Instead, the warehouse, the production team created around 50 different filming areas. Each contained different sets from the movie. These sets include details, maturity environments such as house, rooms, street, and the garden. Among the most impressive sets were three miniatures Victorian style house with the represented the Pink Place apartment where Coraline lives. There was also a hug miniatures appeal that about 42 feet alone and a model of town of the Oregon. The town model including tiny details that made the environment feel real, including small banners and the decoration inspiring by the famous Oregon's festival, Shakespeare's festival. The amazing garden scene. One of the most complicated scenes in the interior movie was the amazing garden sequence. In this scene, Coraline enters a magical world garden where flowers grow and move as she walking toward them. Creating this scene required hundreds of handmade flowers. Each flower had to carefully designed so that it could open, closer, and move during the animation process. These animators had to be adjust these tiny flowers frame by frame so they can appear to grow and more naturally. Because of this complexity, the garden scene become one of the most technically challenged part of the film. The animation process at time more than 28 animators were work at the same time and different scene one of movies. And also be the movie get a remarkable positive response. A typically weak dominators in a typically weak dominators were able to produce only 90 to 100 seconds of the finished animation. This means that creating just a few minutes of the movie could take several weeks for work. Creating then creating the 3D effects. The filmmaker also want to movie to be big release a 3D to achieve this. They use a special filming techniques. Each frame of the animation was photographed, twist async two cameras placed slightly apart from each other. This mimicked the very human eyes to see world from two slightly different angles. When the images were climbed in theater using 3D technology, viewers could see depth and distance in the scene. This made the world of Coraline feel more impressive and realistic. Handmade object of the purpose, one of the most remarkable part of the film was every object seen on the screen was physically created. This including doors, foods, plants, and every very tiny object such as the button and the keys. Nothing was simple generated by the computer. Because of this dedication to craftsmanship, the film was a very unique visual texture that makes it feel more real or tangible. The filmmaker want to audience to feel that they were looking at a real miniatures the world rather than a digital animation. This communicates the handmade artist is one of the main reason why Coraline is still admired as one of the greatest motion animated film ever created. Also, movie get a remarkable positive response for everywhere character and the technology behind them. One of the most amazing part of the Coraline was the way the character were created. Unlike many animated films that use only computer graphic, the characters in the movie were real physically puts. These puts were carefully designed and built by artists and technology before the animation process even began. Each character in the film had to be extremely detailed because the camera could capture very close shot of these face and environment. If the puppets were not carefully designed, the audience could easily notice the flags. To solve this problem, the filmmaker used advanced technology along with traditional craftsmanship to use 3D printing. During the production of the film, the studio used three special 3D printing systems developed by the computer object. These machines allowed to artists to create extremely small and precise piece of the puppets. The 3D printing system used a method called PolyJet technology. This technology made it possible to run computer designs models into real physically object very quickly. And also with the artist designs the piece async the computer software get more attractive and the artificial details. And also with the movie get a remarkable positive response where also be created in the multiple efforts. The technology made it possible to turn computer designs models into real physical object and very quickly. Artists first designed the piece using computer software now a CAD computer avoided design. After the design was completed, the machine printed the design small object layer by layer. This process allowed the team to create thousands of the tiny parts that would later be used to be puppets. Many of these parts were different physically experience for the character in stop motion animation. The actor cannot move their face naturally like human actor. Instead, their face must be physically changed between frames. For this reason, the filmmaker created many different face pieces that would be swept and swept in and out during animation. Thousands of the special experience expressions the puppets used to movie had separate piece from the upper part of the head and the lower part of the face. By combining different pieces, the animators would create a hug number of physically experience. In total, the system allows more than 208,000 different physically experience for the characters. This gives the animators incredible freedom to show emotions such as the happiness, fear, angry, and curiosity. Visitor who late attend the Hidden World, the film of Leica exhibition at the pop culture, were able to see some of these physically piece and display. The exhibition revealed that Coraline herself had over 2 million possible face competitions, where her mother had more than 17,000 physically pieces. These numbers show how much effort was required just to create realistic emotional in the character, keeping the handmade feeling. Director Henry want the puppets to look handmade. He believed that the small seam where the face pieces joined together should remain visible. In this option, these tiny professions remember the audience that the film was created by real arts and the craftsmen. However, the owner of the studio, Knight, left that the seam might disturb viewers. Because of this, many of the seam were later removed digital during the post-production. Even with these adjustments, the filmmakers still try to keep the overall appearance natural and the handcraft rather than overall digital. Multiple Coraline puppets. Another surprising details in that there was not just one puppets of Coraline. In fact, in the production team created 28 additionally Coraline. Each purpose was used to different scene or different animation stage. Building a single purpose was a long and complicated process. It usually takes 3 to 4 months to complete one purpose. Around 10 artists and technical work together to build each purpose because of character were small. These artists had worked to extremely dedicate tools and the materials. You can also see the how many efforts to create Coraline. Creating Coraline required work of very large team of artists, technologies, and designers. At the peak of the production, about 450 people were involved to making the film. This including animators, digital designers, customize makers, lighting techniques, and many of other specialists. The animation team among these workers were around 30 to 35 animators who are possibly for moving the puppets and brings the character to feel real life. These animators worked with extreme patience. For each frame of animation they had to be move the puppet slightly and capture a photograph. A single sound of the film usually required 24 frames, which means the animators had to be adjust the purpose 24 times just to create 1 second of the moment. Because of this slow process filming, the movie took a very long time. The principal photograph stage of the film last about 18 months. During this time, the animators carefully filmed each scene, sometimes repeating movement many times until the action looked perfect. Digitally artist and design. Although the movie used physically puppets and sets, computers were still some used in some of the parts used in some parts of these process. A group now as the Digital Design Group DDG work on the combining different visual elements together. Also with this part of the movie the designer lot of work to create on the big screen movie. The group was directed by Dan Case who also be digital designer team. Also with this show that the movie how time to take the movie acceptation. Also with the Coraline is a dark fantastic animated movie that tell a mysterious and magical story about a young girl who discovers a strange secret world. The film is based on a novel written by the Neil and directed by the Henry. It is a stop motion animated movie, which means the character created using real puppets and the photograph frame by frame to create movement. This film is different from many other animated movies because it mix fantasy, mysterious adventure, and a little bit of horror. It is a movie both children and adults can enjoy, although some scene can feel slightly scary for younger viewers. The story follows 11 years old girl named Coraline Jones. She moved with their parents to an old apartment building called the Pinky Place. The house is strange and full of unusual neighbors. Coraline feels boring and lonely because her parents are always busy with their work. They did not give her much attention, and she feels like no one really understands her. One day, while exploring the house, Coraline finds a small hidden door in the living room. At first, the door is blocked by racking, but later he discovered a secret tunnel behind it. And also, be the other part of the movie get a remarkable production. The most important impressive things about the Coraline is the way it was created. The lot of attention, lot of works, a lot of patience required to create this movie on the final stage. Aura Coraline is a create a beautifully made animated film that combine fantasy, mystery, and adventure. The story is engaging. The animations is impressive. That the message of the film is meaningful because of its unique style and strong storytelling. The movie continued to be loved by audience many years after its release. If you enjoy the imaginative stories and the artist animated animation, Coraline is definitely a film that you should watch. It is just not a animated movie, it is a magical and slightly mysterious experience that stay in your memory for a long time. Movie get a remarkable historical positive response. This is a huge movie. I hope you can enjoy this video. Please like my video, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching video. This is End. Coraline is a 2009 outstanding historical movie that you experience every time on your home. Love you. Take care. I will meet with you next video.